Hey YouTubers, I just thought I'd fix up my old stereo. This is my dad's old stereo from the 70s. It's a Pioneer. It's been really good, except lately the bulbs burned out in the display, even the main display lights. So I ordered a kit from eBay, and it comes with LED replacements instead of the old bulbs. So I've already gone in and soldered in the main ones that light up the faceplate. And it wasn't the right color for me, so I took some movie lighting gel, some yellow and some orange, and I wrapped them with it. And now it has a good orange amber glow that I like. So now I'm just soldering the leads to all the indicators for the power and the stereo one, for the AM one, for the FM one, for the auxiliary, etc. The kit was like 15 bucks. And the guy sends you these LEDs that he's already put the resistors in to run on the 8 volts, because these tuners put out 8 volts to the bulbs for whatever reason. So really you could get away with automotive bulbs. They'd be a little dim, but they would work. 12 volt, 8 volt, whatever, it would work. But these LEDs will never burn out, so that's why I'm doing this. So I got the iron warming, and I'm just going to solder these connections. And then while I'm at it, I'll work on the faceplate, you know, clean up that lens. Look at how cloudy and dirty it is with 45 years of dust and dirt inside of it. I'll take some cleaner wax to it and polish it. Get this faceplate looking good again. And we'll put it all back together. Whenever you do any work over open circuit boards and stuff, you want to protect them from any dropping balls of solder that might come off. So I covered it with this this mesh and some other little things just to keep it out of the box so it doesn't end up on a capacitor or some important circuit. So these are soldered, and now I'll put some heat shrink on them or some tape and move on to the last 3 here. So this is the heat shrink tube. I just cut a little piece off and you slide it down over the wire, and then you hit it with a heat source like a lighter or a heat gun. Okay, I've got all my LEDs wired into the tuner now, and now I noticed that they're just a little bit too yellowy, and through the orange lens they're not quite coming off as orange anymore, so I'm going to put another piece of movie gel here. This is some Roscoe lighting gel, the orange. I'm going to cut it and put it in there and glue it into the little rubber holding block for the LEDs, formerly lights, and that should look good. And we'll button it all back up together, and hopefully we'll be in business. But I think everything's working. Yeah, we've got our amber display lights working. We've got the power indicator working. See how it is a little too yellowy? But I think if we put this orange gel over, when it shines through the orange lens, it should look right again, like it did before with bulbs. It's kind of fun. I mean, you could totally customize your tuner if you wanted. You could have blue or green or whatever color you want, just putting different gels or different LEDs for that matter. But anyway, yeah, it's all working. And these indicators here are all fixed. The AM, the FM, the phono, and the auxiliary. Look at that, they all work again. They haven't worked in like 30 years. So it's pretty cool to see it all lighting up again. Alright, I'm going to shut it off and clean the faceplate and put it back together. Okay, we got this all spiffed up. I used a little glass plus on it and clean the lens. Looks like there's still a little funk in here. We'll get it. I'm a big fan of these old things from the 70s. They were quality. I mean, if you paid good money for a tuner back then, you got what you were getting, you know. You were getting your money's worth. They used good capacitors and good circuits in them. That's why these things run 50 years later, whereas some of the stuff made in the 80s is already in the landfill. The old IC chips and junk, I don't know. But this stuff, this is old school. And it cranks. It has good warm sound, good bass. Yeah, that looks good. And this is all filthy, so we'll do the same there. Clean all that off. So to keep these movie gels from moving around on this little formed LED holder thing, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in the little rubber mold. I'm using this kind. This is vinyl, rubber, and plastic adhesive. Seems to work pretty well. Good for fixing convertible tops and little weather stripping issues. Anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of that on. We'll put our colored lens on. Okay, there we go. It's all hooked up, all wired, ready to go. Let's check it. Give it power. We'll go around the front. Turn it on. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. We got the FM indicator. We've got the AM indicator. We've got the phono indicator. And the aux. Those are all working. And the radio still works.
We're alive today.
Wow, that's awesome. Look at that. We got all the indicators working again. Except for the stereo still isn't. Weird.
It's All Things NPR News. I'm Ari Schiff.
And I'm Mary Louise Kelly. A new book explores threats to democracy around the world, including...
Just wanted going through in these other places, we cannot take this for granted here in the United States. After the fall.
It's in pretty good shape. The cabinet still looks pretty good. A lot of them, the
NPR News in
laminate is
Culver
peeled
City,
away.
California, I'm Dwayne Brown.
Most of these, the laminate vinyl is peeled away, but on ours we always kept it dusted and clean and never mishandled it, so it still looks pretty good. There's a little wear on that corners, but I can always glue that and put a little brown paint wherever the vinyl's missing. There's a little peelage down here.